Somebody explained to me how this is anything but a money laundering situation that's going on in Canada. A couple days ago, the so-called Build Canada Homes project was announced by creepy Mark Carney and the Liberal Party of Canada. $13 billion to initially build 4,000 homes, allegedly up to 45,000 homes. The sizes of which I've been looking on the government's website, many of them are between 650 and 1,050 square feet. Very small homes. The math isn't mathing for me. How is this not blatant, out in the open money laundering that we've continually seen from what independent judiciary has consistently said was one of the most corrupt governments in Canadian history, and Justin Trudeau's government, whether it's the We Charity scandal, the SNC Lavalin scandal, time and time again not going through the proper procurement procedures to get projects approved. How is this not just a blatant continuation? Brookfield Asset Management, where Mark Carney spent 10 years of his career prior to being elected Prime Minister of Canada, though if you dig into the Liberal leadership race, very odd. Only 300,000 people voting in a country of over 41 million. And Ruby Dalla, the only woman willing to be critical of Carney, summarily dismissed despite paying the $25,000 entry fee. Brookfield Asset Management is heavily involved in the building of these 4,000 rental units, and the math just isn't adding up. They're taking $13 billion of Canadian taxpayer dollars after having already run up a nearly $62 billion deficit. The Canadian people being in dire financial straits due to Liberal mismanagement over the past decade, somehow mismanaging our finances to that tune, despite the fact that being the second largest land mass in the world and having the most incredible opportunity through natural resources, yet through, whether it be through green initiatives, through straight no corruption, the Liberals have wrecked Canada's financing. But $13 billion, 13 billion Canadian taxpayer dollars in order to build between 4 and 45,000 homes. The most charitable possible math is that these are costing $3.25 million per home. How does that make any sense whatsoever? The answer is it doesn't. On the government's own website, they list these homes as between 650 and 1,050 square feet. They are not even trying to hide it anymore. The fact that the Liberal Party of Money is literally stealing our money, stealing the Canadian taxpayers' money out in the open, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. The same government that's allowing 1.5 million people into the country in the year 2025, despite the fact that they're only building 220,000 homes when we already have a housing crisis, when we already have an excess of 70,000 Canadians dying every year due to a overwhelmed healthcare system. They know that middle and lower class Canadians are going to get absolutely hammered by continuing to allow this number of immigrants in, yet they continue. And they've reached a stage now where they don't even try and hide their corruption. It's just wide out in the open. Mark Carney is in the House of Commons for 2 days after 13 months off after the prorogation of government and summer vacation, and he's off. He jets off to Mexico. They're not even pretending anymore. When are we going to see a revolution in this country? Because the way that the government has treated us over the past decade is as abominable. I would match it up with any other government in the Western world. Any other government. For Canada to have a 7.1% unemployment rate, a 22% unemployment rate among young men, with the incredible resources and land mass that we have in this country, it can only be intentional. There's no other explanation for what's going on in Canada. The resources we have, whether it be through LNG, whether it be through oil, are unlike nearly any other country in the world. Yet they continue to say if we can't profit off it, we are not going to take advantage of it. Canadians need to wake up the hell up. We need a revolution in this country. This is just out in the open money laundering that Mark Carney and the Liberal Party believe that the Canadian people are not going to react to. They appoint Chrystia Freeland, the head of the convoy to Ukraine, after she resigns. They sent $22 billion to Ukraine. When are we going to get a forensic audit on exactly how that money is being spent? When are we going to get a forensic audit on everything that our government is doing? This government with a so-called chief economist, Mark Carney, running it. And the guy is the most elitist piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. They're not even putting the budget out until November 4th. That's about 6 months late compared to traditional Canadian governments. The way he talks down to the Canadian people in the House of Commons makes you want to throw up. Watch this guy speaks. Hey, motherfucker, you're not the fucking king of this country. You work for us. We don't work for you, you fuck. I and many other Canadians are getting goddamn sick of this. We need to demand accountability of our elected leaders. This scumbag thinks that he can just rob us by... I've submitted FOI requests. We must demand a forensic audit, details into what is going on with the Build Canada Homes Act. How are we justifying a $13 billion hijacking of Canadian taxpayer dollars to build between 4 and 45,000 homes? It makes no sense. The math ain't mathing, and we're not just going to let it go. Please like, share, subscribe, join, become a member if you're interested in helping shape this movement from the ground up. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/AppFight for Canada 2025, because I'm over 17,000 followers and the Canadian government is not a big fan of distance. We're not letting these fuckers get away with this. We're not letting the Liberal Party of Canada steal our goddamn taxpayer dollars. Enough is enough. You're not getting away with it, you crook Carney.